Jay, how'd your defense look to you today?
I think, we got some of the kind of front line guys out pretty early. And I thought early on I was really proud of them. Thought they played really hard, like were physical. We really wanted to see some of the younger guys, some of the next group in players play a significant amount without some of the veterans. And I think it got a little sloppy there, and we got tired. But all in all, I thought it was a good day. I think it was good work, good film to watch, and happy with where we are right now.
Did any of those young guys particularly stand out? As you said, it was a little sloppy there as you got a little tired. Did anyone make themselves?
Yeah, I thought McMillan really stood out. I think we're challenging that kid. He's kind of thrown in the fire a little bit, but really battled. He's had a great offseason. He jumps out at me. I think Cyrus Reyes impressed me today as a communicator. As a leader, just a great kid. And I think he'll play for us. I think he's got a role for us. So I'm excited about him. So those two kind of jump out at me off the start. We were pretty banged up at corner, so some of those corners took a lot of reps, man. That's a hard position to play, 60, 70 plays out there in that heat. So it was good.
You mentioned the corners outside of, kind of being banged up. What are you seeing from those guys and how do you feel?
Yeah, look, Alan Brown's a really good coach, man. He's done a great job with those guys. So I feel like we got a lot of depth there. We've had some guys with some nagging things that kind of happen when you're running like they run. But I think we'll have them all back pretty quickly here, and I think looking forward to those kids playing. And some of them are really fun guys to coach. Man, Rod Nichols is a really fun guy to coach. Sykes is a really fun guy to coach. So some good young players that are going to be good players.
How are your linebackers coming along?
Yeah, I think we're making progress. I think Grant, I've been really impressed with Grant, really smart. He was one I wanted to get out early today and kind of see the other guys function without him. He's kind of the decision maker out there a lot. So I thought Bo did a nice job. I think Tavion's coming along. Tavion's super talented, man, super talented. So I just got to get him ready to play. And then I think Antoine's fell into a kind of a niche role where he's going to be able to help us. So I think those first four guys are going to help us. Justin Hartley, the young kid, the freshman, just got here from Alabama. Man, he's a joy to coach. He's going to be really good, but right now I'm not sure he knows there's 11 guys out there. So he's just trying to go out there and play. But he's going to play on special teams, have a role for us, and I'm excited about that kid too.
Coach, I don't know if you've talked about this before, but I assume from your answer right there that Grant will be having the green dot on Saturdays? Yeah,
we haven't really decided. I mean, I've always been more comfortable with the linebackers, but man, those two safeties are really smart guys too. So I think we've talked about that. I think we'll kind of see how it goes the next couple of weeks. It might even be a deal game to game. We change it. So in practice, I've done it with Ty and with Grant. A couple of different practices each way to see. Right now, I've got it on all the linebackers so they can all hear me. Obviously, can't do that during the game, but I think we'll just kind of see how it shakes out.
Jay, a guy that Coach Stein says really stood out to him during camp has been Grant Grayton, and I was hoping you could maybe just speak on what you about him.
Grant Grayton, I remember him out of high school thinking, man, this kid might end up being a really good player. He was, really skinny and long. And you're like, man, he might, and then when I got here, I was like, man, he's kind of improved physically. And then I think now you look at him and he looks like what they're supposed to look like in this league. So, physical kid. I think AB's done a great job with him. He's going to play a ton for us. Has a real value. Everybody nowadays they want to make the corners tackle, and I think he's a really good run defender, boundary corner, big. I like guys like that. He reminds me a little bit of the kid I had last year. I think he's got a bright future, and hasn't played that much. Played a decent amount last year as a true freshman, but I think he's really starting to get in it now. And I'm excited about that kid.
Jay, you've been open about wanting to come here so you had more control over the defense and all those things. As you get close to it, what do you want the Jay Bateman defense to be known for?
Yeah, I think how hard we play, how well we communicate. I think those are the two main things. How physical we are. I think the schematic thing gets blown out of whack a little bit. If you play really hard and you communicate and you play physical, I don't know if y'all got to see us today or not, but if you'd watch the first 10 or 12 plays of us today, you'd say I'd be pretty happy with that, man. Physical effort. Those are the things I think. Those are the non-negotiables. So.
Jay, what did you learn from your experience at North Carolina?
Man, that's a great question. I think I learned how to manage people better. I think I can manage people better. I think how to really take a look at what you have and try to fit your scheme around them instead of try to fit your people around your scheme more. And then I think I learned a lot about like dealing with different personalities, and I think I learned, I think you learn your most from failing, right? And so I think I'm a lot better coordinator, a lot better coach now because of that experience.
Coach Stein mentioned the offense coughing it out a couple times, turning the ball over. Obviously, he doesn't like that, but from your perspective,
I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we had, last scrimmage a week ago, I felt like we had done a really nice job. We had emphasized with them. Coach Stein does a great job with them of like attacking the football and how big of a deal that is. And I felt like last scrimmage we got in the scrimmage and kind of forgot about it. And so we've been on them about that. That's the last thing I showed them in our unit meeting today before we went out there was some NFL clips, some clips of us attacking the football. And I think we we did a nice job attacking the football. The first Jordan Castell had a really nice play, punched the ball out. A couple guys got the ball up in the air, got in a couple interceptions. Did a nice job, I think, attacking the football. I think that's such a big deal nowadays, right? You got to cause turnovers. So yeah, I was happy with them.
Jay, you've got a couple weeks until you tee it up for real. What are some of the things about your team that you really can't tell until you're facing real opposition?
Man, that's a great question. I kind of want to see like how we're going to respond when adversity hits. Adversity hits in practice. You kind of go to the next period and you kind of reset. So like how we're going to respond when adversity hits. I think how we're going to communicate in front of 70,000+ people. I think those are the main things. And then I think next week's going to be really important for us to kind of go through a week. Even though it's not exactly a game week, but like, hey, they're going to be in school now. They got to manage school. Like how they're going to manage all that stuff. So that's what I'm most interested in seeing. But I'm pretty confident we got some guys that have played a lot of football that are going to lead out there, and looking forward to seeing them go compete.
Do you have any initial thoughts on tackling? Do you think this team is going to be a good tackling team?
Better be. Yeah. I mean, I think tackling is like the number one skill you have to have as a defender, and yet it's the hardest one to practice because you're scared of getting guys hurt. You go watch the NFL practices; they never tackle, right? Like they pay a lot of money to get on the ground. So I think for us, I think as tackling has gone away from day in day out, and Will does a good job of simulating the best we can. I think we've challenged our kids. I thought we tackled better today than we did last Saturday. The tracking of the football and your approach to the football are so important, and how you drill that. And Will comes across sometimes as like the quarterback guru, offensive guy, but like we practice like a defensive head coach. Like we do tackling, we do physical, we take on blocks, and I think that's a sign of a really, really good head coach. So I think they're prepared to go tackle, and now we got to go do it in a game live for 60, 70 snaps.
Joe has talked about them, both scrimmages getting really good movement up front. Is that a tribute to just how good those guys on the O-line have been, or is there something you want to see better from the
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the way scrimmages work, right? It's like Joe thinks they have good push, and then I get mad, and then I think they don't have good push, and Joe gets mad. So I think we've got some offensive linemen that are really talented kids that if they get you on your heels, they're going to move you. So there's been some times I haven't been real happy with that. To be honest with you, right? There's been some times I think we've done pretty good. So I think it's the give and take of a scrimmage a little bit.
Speaking of that, what kind of camp is Tavion Gatson in?
Yeah, Tavion Gadsden's a really good player. He probably took too many reps. We got banged up a little bit, but he's a tough kid. Won't come out. Like today, I just told him like you're out. Like I've seen enough. So pretty confident he'll be able to be an impactful player for us this year.
Coach Bateman, last week we got the news that O'Berry wouldn't be playing this year. So this week, what did you guys see from guys like C.J. Works, Lorenzo Cowan, and maybe even Sam Green and Jack?
I mean, look, I hate it for O'Berry, but those three kids are really good players, man. We were very comfortable with that room. I think Tony's done a great job with Lorenzo Cowan. He's become a powerful player. He's a smart player. I feel really good about those three guys. Sam, I think we've been really smart. I've been around this before where you have a kid who's a really, really good player and he tears his ACL and he comes back and you're trying to push him because you need him. I think our training staff's done a really nice job with Sam. I think he's ready to go. I think we've managed his reps really good, and I think he'll be ready to go for week 1. But those 3 kids are good players, man.